Ned Bell is back. You brought your wingman with you.
I did.
Steve Johansson, good to see you.
Good morning.
And you brought another wingman here. What a catch. Tell us about this.
That's our little friend there, yeah. That's a 38-pound halibut that was harvested yesterday in the Strait of Juan just off Victoria.
And you know, we're here today talking about National Sustainable Seafood Day.
Yes, March 18th.
And why is this important? How does this all tie in?
Well, I mean, first of all, halibut season in Vancouver on the West Coast is so exciting this time of year for so many chefs and people because we all love halibut. It's such a great fish, and the West Coast is certainly famous for some incredible halibut. I'm just laying in a couple of pieces of halibut into a little bit of camelina oil. You could use some olive oil if you want. We're just going to slowly roast that. But National Sustainable Seafood Day, so, you know, ourselves, Sea Choice, Ocean Wise, we've all banded together and we're trying to create, and we talked about this last year, we're trying to create a national day in this country where we celebrate sustainable seafood. And so we're not quite there yet. We need support from people watching, and, you know, we're trying to get the government to recognize it as a day. We do such a good job of celebrating sustainable seafood in communities, in regions, and maybe provincially, but nationally we don't do a great job. So
I want to ask you a couple more questions about this, but next step for people making halibut at home, what's the entire scope of the recipe?
So yeah, what we're doing is, you know, we're coming out of this little bit of cold spell, so I'm making a kind of early spring recipe. So I have some green garbanzo beans, which are young chickpeas, some green tomatoes, a little bit of salt, some lime juice, and then some fresh basil. Yeah. Just sauteing that together, and then over with our green theme, we have some crushed avocado, and we'll just start laying this in to the bottom of the bowl. As the halibut sears on the one side, what you do is you flip it carefully, like so, and then you get this gorgeous golden brown crust. Cooks about 3 or 4 minutes per side, and it's just such a silky, beautiful fish. And basically, halibut is so great because it's like a sponge. It just wants to soak up flavor.
Real nice. And Steve, we were talking, how often do you get catches like this? This is a common thing for you?
It sure is. Well, the season just opened just over a week ago, and it's open until about mid-November. It's a quota fishery, so we pace ourselves and we try and harvest the fish throughout the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And right now we're trying to get them to Vancouver every day.
And Ned, when you look at a fish this size, what's the weight? How many servings are you getting from something like this?
This is about 38 pounds or 40 pounds. You know, we'll look at sort of 50 to 60 portions, depending on what kind of yield we get. But this fish is so fantastic because the quality is there, very little loss. And you know, if you know, halibut fish and chips, halibut burgers, halibut main course goes into bouillabaisse or paella. I mean, there's no waste with fish, and you can make a great stock, so a great soup from halibut bones as well.
And for all of us that love fish out there, if we're going to the store or if we're going out and wanting to consume the fish, what are the best choices for sustainability when you look at the oceans and the movement you're trying to push for?
Well, for the halibut, for example, all the halibut is a hook and line caught fishery.
Yeah.
Not a lot of bycatch. When you're buying salmon, same thing. Spot prawns, which is 51 days away. It's like waiting for Christmas.
Woo! Spot prawns, baby!
That's one of the most sustainable fisheries in the world because it is a trap fishery.
Yeah.
Very little bycatch, minimal damage to the ocean floor. And ask your fishmonger too, and hopefully they have the answers for you.
And Ned, for you, I mean, yeah, you did come on last year, as you mentioned. What would you want to see in the next year as you push forward with this movement?
Well, you know, I'm actually riding my bike across Canada this year to raise awareness for sustainable seafood and our healthy lakes, oceans, and rivers. And really, I just want to raise awareness and education. So my only comment is just ask, where's your fish come from, who caught it, and is it sustainable? That's sort of my message, is just ask, and if they can't answer, then probably that's your answer right there.
You know, it's a great starting point. We've got the websites, and guys in the control room, roll those in on screen. Last mention to you, you're riding your bike across Canada, July and August. This is going to happen?
Yeah, I'm leaving on Canada Day from St. John's, Newfoundland. I'm going to zigzag the country over 2 months. Got some incredible support from the Four Seasons and from my family and you know, Mountain Equipment Co-op. We're really trying to raise awareness for sustainability, and yeah, I'm going to do events across Canada with some great peers of mine, and watch for it. Hopefully you guys follow along.
Steve, you going with them?
Absolutely not.
You're going to cheer them on. Cheer them on. You're going to stick with the fishing.
I'll be out there doing that.
Here it
I'll
is.
be doing lots of this across the country, that's for sure.
Get a final shot of the finished product here. Ned, you are our master. Steve, thanks for coming on and showing us how it's done. We're going to take a break here on Breakfast Television. Tamara, she's got latest details on one of the big news stories of the morning. Tamara, back over to you. Thanks, boys.